This is the money video, and I'm going to give you which Vegas UFC futures lines are mispriced, and I'm going to share with you how I plan to take advantage of those using my 1 to 4 star bets. I'm also going to give you my dark horse picks, and I'm going to give you some details of those bad boys and why I've selected those fighters to be my dark horse champs at the end of 2026. Let's get going. Let's talk about what a dark horse is. I define a dark horse as a fighter whose futures lines are plus 1,000 or more, or who maybe Vegas hasn't even posted a futures line. That's how I define a dark horse. All right, starting out at the flyweights, my first dark horse contender is number 14th ranked Ramazan Tamarov. Vegas has him at plus 5,000 odds. Currently, Tamarov's record is 19-2. He's on an 11 fight win streak, and 8 of those have either been by knockout or TKO. I like this guy's potential. He recently fought Charles Johnson, number 13th rank. Charles was the only one that has given Joshua Van his loss. And so I think that we're going to see Tamarov in a top 10 fight sometime very soon, and I think his knockout power catapults him to a title contention by the end of 2026. Coming in for Bantamweight, I have Malcolm Wellmaker. Vegas has Malcolm Wellmaker at plus 8,000 odds. I like Wellmaker. If you take a look at my top 15 exciting prospects in the UFC, you'll see that I have Malcolm ranked very high on that list. He's currently got a 10-0 record with an 80% finish rate. And I just think Wellmaker's got that super one-punch knockout power. And I see him being the Joshua Van of the bantamweight. I think he's going to be in a top 10 fight early in 2026, and then by the time we get to the end of the year, he's going to be in title contention. So that's Malcolm Wellmaker as one of my dark horses. Coming in at featherweight, I have a big goose egg here for my dark horses. If you check out the video about my predictions for 2026 champions in every division, you can learn more about why I don't have a dark horse here. But basically, I believe Diego Lopez will be the title holder at the end of the year. I think he's even going to defend that belt and he's going to win. The other players in this division, like Yair Rodriguez, Jean Silva, let's see, who else do I have here? Evloev, their odds are like anywhere from 350 to 800. That doesn't qualify as a dark horse bet for me. And so I'm just staying away from a dark horse in this division. All right, everyone, let's talk about the lightweights. So in the lightweight division, my dark horse pick is Benoit Saint-Denis. Right now, he's plus 3,500 in terms of Vegas odds. If you go back to my projected end of 2026 champions, you find that I talk about Benoit Saint-Denis as my dark horse bet. You'll see that I projected that Ilia Topuria is going to vacate the belt and he's going to move up in contention of 3 division champ into the welterweight. So that is going to mean that there's going to be a vacated belt title contention fight. I think that's going to happen between Arman Tsarukyan and Max Holloway. I think Arman is going to win, and then later in the year, Arman is going to defend that title. In that time, I think that BSD, the God of War, is going to have enough time to fight again. So therefore, I believe that BSD, with his fighting style that is highly crowd pleasing, punch and be punched, great striking skills, great on the ground, I think that it is going to catapult him into title contention in 2026. Therefore, Benoit Saint-Denis is my dark horse for 2026 in the lightweight division. Okay, now let's talk about welterweights. In the welterweight division, I've chosen Ilia Topuria as my dark horse. Now, Vegas currently has Ilia Topuria as the welterweight title holder at plus 1,200 odds. Therefore, that makes him automatically, by my definition, a dark horse. So I'm choosing him as my dark horse and as the title holder at the end of 2026 in the welterweight division. Watch my companion video titled 2026 Predicted Champions to get more. The description is in the link. Okay, guys, coming in for my middleweights, again, I don't have a dark horse here. The reason is because the current title holder is Khamzat Chimaev. We've got a few challenges here. Number one, I don't think Khamzat can be beat. Let's face it. My opinion is there isn't anyone in that division that can take the title away from him. Number two, I don't think Khamzat is really motivated to chase that legacy status the way that some other fighters are. And number three, even the people that can give him a run for his money, like Fluffy Hernandez, RDR, Imavov, they're all plus 300, 200, 400. They don't qualify as dark horses because remember, my dark horses have to be plus 1,000 or more. So I don't have a dark horse in this division for you guys, and that's okay. All right, so now I'm at light heavyweight. At light heavyweight, my dark horse champion is Khamzat Chimaev, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have that future betting line for light heavyweight. I think Chimaev could have a real shot, however, in this light heavyweight division, given that Alex Pereira has expressed strong intention to vacate the title here. I think because of his style, Khamzat could beat any of the light heavyweight fighters in this division right now, whether it's Yuri Prohaska, Khalil Roundtree, Magomed Ankalaev, Carlos Ulberg. Of all of the fighters that I mentioned just now, none of them have high enough betting odds to qualify as a dark horse. So I'm going to stick with Khamzat and I'm going to keep checking the Vegas lines because things are moving and changing really fast in the UFC right now, and you never know. At the heavyweights, my current dark horse pick for the heavyweight class is Alex Pereira, but unfortunately, there are no futures lines for Alex yet. Now, I'm going to keep an eye out on this because things are changing, especially in this division. And I think that maybe a month or two from now, you never know, I might be coming back with another video with a futures line for Alex. Never know, it might even be John Jones. We'll see. All right, I rate my bets 1 to 4 stars. So let's take a look at what that means. Let's just say $100 is going to be our betting example. So a 1-star bet is risky. There's very low probability. I'm saying that with the 1-star bets, only bet up to 25% of that $100. So anywhere from $5 to $25 should be your bets for the 1-star bets because those are the most high risk bets. The 2-star bets still have low probability, but they're higher in Vegas mispricing. So I'm saying with the 2-star bets, bet anywhere from 25 to 75% of your baseline bet. So anywhere from $25 to $75. Okay, are you with me? Now with the 3-star bets, I'm saying that's solid, high probability. Vegas has got some mispricing in there. I'm saying at the 3-star bets, give it 100%, so $100. And then with the 4-star bets, I'm saying these are my highest probability. They have significant Vegas mispricing. And so I'm saying give it 100% or double down on it and go 200. Alrighty, guys, here are my futures bets. All right, let's talk about my 1-star futures bet. My first pick is Malcolm Wellmaker at plus 8,000. Now I'm going to ask myself two things. One, what is the probability that Malcolm is going to get a title shot in 2026? And number two, if he does get that title shot in 2026, what's the probability that he's going to win? So I think there's a 10% chance that he'll get the title shot. And I think if he does, there's about a 25% chance that he's going to win. And this will make him a plus 400 underdog. Now, my assumed probability of Wellmaker being the 2026 champion is 2.5%. My assumed future price, $100 divided by 2.5% is plus 4,000. So this means that my edgy bet is 4,000 and the Vegas odds are at plus 8,000. So we have a 4,000 delta, and that's where I think that Vegas has mispriced it and gives me the advantage. My next edgy bet is a 1-star bet for Ramazan Temirov. Now, Vegas has Ramazan at plus 5,000. I asked myself the same two questions. One, what's the probability that he gets a fight? And two, what's the probability that he wins that fight in 2026? Now, I'm giving Ramazan a 10% chance of getting a fight in 2026 at the title fight, and I'm saying that he has a 40% chance of winning that fight. So that means that my assumed probability of Temirov being the 2026 champion is 4%, and my assumed future prices, which is $100 divided by 4%, is plus 2,500. So Vegas odds are at plus 5,000 for Ramazan. My edgy advantage is plus 2,500. So we've got a 2,500 delta, which means that Vegas is mispriced by 2,500 and I've got the advantage. Moving on to my 2-star bets. Now, I've got one here for you that wasn't listed in my dark horse bet, but I think it's such a juicy, interesting story that I'm going to include it here. Now, let me give you some backstory. Merab Dvalishvili said the only way that he would vacate the title is if fellow countryman Alexandre Topuria got a chance at the title. This presents a carrot for Dana White to get Ilya, Alexandre's brother, to fight if Alexandre gets a chance at the title. Now, this increases Alexandre's odds at getting a title shot and his chances of winning because he wouldn't have to fight Merab. This is why I'm including this bet. So, asking myself the same two questions. What are the chances that Alexandre is going to get a shot at the title? And two, what is the probability that he's going to win? And so for Alexandre, I've assigned a 5% chance that he'll get a shot at the title in 2026. And the probability of him winning in 2026 is 25%, and that makes him a plus 400 underdog. My assumed probability of Alexandre being a 2026 champion is 1.25%. And my assumed futures price is $100 divided by 1.25% plus 8,000. The Vegas futures odds are plus 25,000. My odds are plus 8,000. So my edgy advantage versus Vegas is plus 17,000. Let's talk about my 3-star bets. I've got Merab at minus 120. Well, Vegas has Merab at minus 120. And guys, anytime you can get Merab at near even money odds, take it. He's the most dominant fighter, arguably the GOAT, pretty much the GOAT. I'm going to take that bet. The next one is Diego Lopez at plus 200. After watching Lopez fight Gian Silva at Noche, I'm convinced that he's the best fighter. I'm convinced that he's going to be the title holder by the end of 2026. And so I think these are two very solid bets for champions at the end of 2026. Guys, let's talk about my 4-star futures bet. I love Ilya Topuria at plus 1,200. I really believe that Ilya Topuria is going to go for the welterweight title either at the UFC White House card or late in the year. I see him being in a match against either Islam Makhachev or Jack Della Maddalena, and I think Islam takes that title. I don't think he's going to defend it. I think he's going to vacate it because I think he wants BIG, big money in a boxing title. And so he's going to be asking to fight either Canelo Alvarez or Crawford. I think that's what's coming up next for Ilya. Now, this is all given that he wins the welterweight title and he becomes the first 3-division champ. I asked myself the two questions. One, what's the probability that he's going to get that fight in 2026? And what are the odds that he's going to win? I'm saying it's a 40% chance that he's going to get that fight in 2026. And I think it's a 50% chance that he's going to win. My assumed probability that Ilya Topuria will be the 2026 champion is 20%. My assumed futures prices, again, $100 divided by 20% is plus 500. So the Vegas future odds are plus 1,200, and my edgy advantage versus Vegas is plus 700. It's 4 stars because it's high probability and I've got some Vegas mispricing baked in there. Furthermore, what's really fun is that if Dana announces a welterweight super fight for Ilya and let's say Islam, but it could even be JDM, if they're even money, I can hedge my futures bet with no risk. Look, There's a lot that can happen in the UFC right now. After all, we're a long ways away. Anything can happen. But if you follow my logic and you agree with my logic, then there's a lot of mispricing in the Vegas lines that you can take advantage. I know I am. So let's wrap it up. What are your thoughts? Give me your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me about your edgy bets. What's worked for you in the past? And I look forward to hearing from you guys.